Gentlemen, you don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
Hello and welcome to the Talent Podcast Prospect Wordle. I am your host, Adam Madsen, and with me as always, he doesn't know shit about the story of Skate Story. It's Mike Regan. Mike, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Did I swear too early into this video? Do we have to start over? We're gonna get demonetized.
We're demonetized. No, you bleep it.
He doesn't know suicide about the story from Skate Story.
That's somehow more likely to get us demonetized.
He doesn't know unalive.
There you go.
What's the other one? What's the other one all these kids are doing? Unhoused.
No, that's like the that's like one of those super PC terms for homeless people. That one didn't pick up a lot of steam.
Can I tell you the one I always associate that with, like the super PC term that people started saying and it just evaporated into the mists?
Mm-hmm.
Remember like the 3 weeks, instead of saying Latina and Latino or Hispanic, people were saying Latinx?
Yes. Yeah, I don't even get that one.
Right?
It's like Latino or like Hispanic seems like a pretty good catch-all. That's not offensive.
But what if they're not Hispanic? What if they're, Portuguese?
Does that not count as Hispanic?
No.
I just did a racism.
They're
There we go.
See.
Now
Are
I'm canceled.
Argentinians Hispanic? That's what I'm asking. Let me even extend slightly further to that. What do they have to do with Latin?
What do you mean?
They're Latino, right? Where's the
It has
Latin
to do with the translation, maybe?
But, like, wouldn't Italians be Latinos? Wouldn't that be, like, the closest comparison? Because that's where Latin was from, was Rome.
Right, so I feel like there was Latin, right? And then people started speaking Spanish, and someone heard it, and they were like, that's not Latin. But it kind of has a flair to it. It's like Latino. Or Latina. They were like, yeah, I like that. It's got a little flair to it. All right, let's go with that.
And then the third guy went, or Latinx, and they went, no!
Shut up! You are banished! And then they were like, oh my god, that volcano's erupting! And someone kicked someone into a hole and screamed, we are Sparta.
Not this is Sparta, it's we are Sparta.
No. We are collectively.
You've really confused because now you've jumped over to the Greek Empire from the Roman
Right, and then
Empire.
Brad Pitt showed up and he was like, I'm Troy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then
like
Matt
that.
Damon was there and he's like, and I'm Odysseus.
People were like, shut up, no one's going to remember that.
The movie's going to make $1 billion at the box office and we're never going to talk about it again.
Probably.
Just like Oppenheimer.
Damn, people talk about that still, right?
I used Oppenheimer today in Cinematrix, didn't I?
I don't think you did.
I think I did. I think you're a fucking liar. I think you lie for fun. It's the only way you can get off anymore. I didn't. I used The Wolf of Wall Street. That was the DiCaprio movie I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, I used Wolf of Wall Street for Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
Which is literally the only movie I could think of for him. I was like,
I didn't know who he was until I clicked on his little face and went, oh, that's the FBI agent from Wolf of Wall Street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty proud of that. Also, not to go off on a Cinematrix tangent, but bad words that I used for Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
There was I think Jason Bateman may have been on here a while back or something, and I really wanted to use it, but there was no way to fit it in. So that's always exciting when you get a chance to use a movie you really wanted to use before.
Yeah, it's why I'm constantly trying to use cats, but every time that Jennifer Hudson comes up, they won't let me. Or
Right.
Ian McKellen. Who else is in that movie? Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift hasn't been on Cinematrix, right?
What's her? Rebel Wilson's in it too.
Rebel Wilson, yeah. James Corden. James Corden's in it. Did I already say Ian McKellen?
Is James Corden the carpool karaoke guy?
Yeah. You won't.
Whatever
You
happened
find this
there?
hard to believe. He's a fat cat. He's a fat cat in
Oh.
the movie. Jason
Well,
Derulo's
they
in it,
couldn't-
and that ruined Jason Derulo's career.
They couldn't make Rebel Wilson the fat cat because she got all skinny.
I don't think she was skinny by the time she did Cats, but I can't remember because
Yeah.
I remember like 2 scenes from Cats, and that for some reason Taylor Swift is the protagonist. Oh,
You're
what's up?
You're very what's the word? Understanding of like. I kind of try to be the same way. Like, hey, making a movie in general, good or bad, is not easy. So you got to give people credit just for making a movie and finishing it and releasing it.
Yeah.
So because of that, you're usually pretty, level-headed and not too like hate movies or like really tear them down. But you saw Cats and you were like, that was terrible.
It was really bad.
You really didn't like Cats. Yeah.
Here's the big sin of Cats. It's not the singing or the cats. It's just that the movie was fucking boring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A musical is boring?
All musicals are boring, but Cats especially.
That's not true.
I was just sitting there. All musicals. I don't get it. Whatever the juice is in musicals that other people could squeeze out of it, it does not exist for me. I don't know. I've watched more than a handful, but less than a bushel of musicals in my life.
What have you watched? You watched West Side Story.
West Side Story, Moulin Rouge, Cats, Cyrano, Les Mis, the movie version. We saw Book of Mormon, the play. I've seen The Sound of Music, which is it has songs.
I feel like everything pre-1960s, like 50% of Hollywood was just musicals.
Yeah. I've seen My Left Foot.
A little better than my own.
Is that it? That might be all the musicals I've seen. I'm probably missing something.
So you've never seen
Sweeney
Chicago?
Todd. Seen Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp fucks. I love that movie.
They do nothing for me, man. Like, as soon as I start singing, I'm like, boy, I can't wait for the singing to be over.
It's so weird.
It's boring.
It's not boring. Maybe you just like don't. Maybe you sit down for movies and you're like, I want movies, and then once they start singing, you're like, this is something different. Stop it. You can't connect the two.
I can't connect to it. What's the interesting thing about people singing? Also, this is kind of funny. It harkens back to a conversation I keep having with a friend of the pod, Nagador. Who, it's so funny. You're the only person that calls him that, but now it's become my parlance for him in shorthand.
That's because that's why I first knew who he was, because of fantasy football.
Let me say this. I don't mean to get off on a tangent within our tangent. That was also part of a different tangent. But when he explained it to me, that it's just his last name and the first two letters of his first name, I was like, oh, our version of that's way cooler. It makes it sound like you're a character from Trogdor.
Trogdor.
Yeah. Like he's a Homestar Runner character. The way that we say it. We say it Nagadar, which makes it sound like, Trogdor's nerdy cousin or something.
Sounds like he's burninating the countryside.
Yeah. But my tangent I was getting off on there is I keep getting into this with Nagadar because every time that we go to a movie, he's like, you're a sicko for not eating popcorn at the movies. I'm like, I don't go to the movies to eat shit popcorn I paid $13 for. I go to the movies to watch a fucking movie. I'd say
like probably 1 out of every 5 movies I go to, I'll get popcorn. That's usually because I show up and I'm like, damn, I'm hungry. So I'll get some popcorn.
My go-to move now is sneaking a coffee in. Mm-hmm. But if I don't have a coffee, I will pay for the overpriced drinks and just get hammered while I watch a movie.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Hammer and beers when I watch Kill Bill. I think I had a beer when I went and saw Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. You just, here's the thing that not a lot of people know about this, Mike. In life, you just gotta drink. You gotta just drink. Yeah. Anyways, the point of what we're saying here is musicals suck. Nagadar is washed. And Fernando Mendoza. Yeah. Mike, we are a football podcast brought to you by the same people who brought you 2 solo streams of Skate Story. 2 of them. 2 of them in which we beat the game. But today we are here. It's a short game. I may have joined the speedrun Discord. We're here to talk about the NFL. That's not the hockey league. That's not the basketball league. That's the other one. That's the big shield where they hit people in the head. Mike, we got some news items we got to cover that have happened since our last show. First and foremost, you see the Jaguars? You see what the Jaguars talking about? You see the Jaguars talking about stuff?
I see that. Yeah, I looked at the rundown.
The fun thing would be if you pretended that you just read this news or you didn't read the news. You'd be like, no, what are the Jaguars saying?
No, what did they say?
Travis Hunter is going to play full-time at cornerback and in special packages as a wide receiver. Thus, raising an important question, Mike. Why'd you trade a future first and a pick swap on your current first for dollar store Taysom Hill?
That's so slanderous and ridiculous what you just said.
Let me ask you this. Who has more touchdowns?
That's true. Taysom Hill has more career touchdowns.
Do you think J.J. Watt has more career pass breakups?
Than Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
There's a real possibility, but I don't want to get into it right now. The funny part about this is, I mean, at least they're playing him at two positions, which is why you draft him. Good. I don't like putting the definition on it of full-time corner, part-time wide receiver. Going into the league, I said, well, the thing that makes him valuable is he can do both. So he has to do both in some capacity. And I'm still standing on what I thought back then, which is it could be more of a week-to-week matchup-based thing on which one he plays more of.
Yeah, like if you need a really bad wide receiver out there for some reason, you could play him at wide receiver more.
No, that's not what I meant.
God,
But,
Parker Washington and Brian Thomas and Jacoby Myers are just playing too well. What if we got a slot receiver out there who can't catch or run routes?
First of all, they haven't extended Jacoby Myers yet.
So
there may be no Jacoby Myers.
You don't go to Duval
Also,
and then leave.
Can we stop with the Parker Washington thing? All right, let's settle
I'll
down.
stop with it. I'll stop with it as soon as he's not better than Travis Hunter.
Okay. So I like that they're at least saying, yes, he's going to play both positions. I just wouldn't put any hard and fast rules on it. I would just have said, yeah, he's going to play both. Leave it at that. There's no reason to be like, he's going to pay 75% corner, 25% receiver, and that's never going to change ever.
The way that I feel, I'm starting to feel a little suspicious about how this is going, is that Travis Hunter looked like he was going to be physically capable of playing both sides in the pros because he did D1 football. But it's kind of like, you know how you would watch Sam Howell? And Sam Howell would think that he could run through the middle of the offensive line when there was enough of a gap, because his entire time playing in college, he was fast enough to do that when he was playing against future auto mechanics and lawyers.
Yeah.
But then he started playing in the NFL, and he would go try to break to the center, and a 6'6" linebacker would just move 2 steps to the left faster than a fucking lightning strike and just be there to tackle him for a 3-yard loss.
Mm-hmm.
Is Travis Hunter Sam Howling? Did we all just think he could do this
No.
because he was athletically capable of doing it in college? But it's actually not possible in the pros to play both ways constantly because of the learning curve and the opposite athleticism.
Well, that's the thing, is if you had to have been rational coming into it. People who thought he was going to be able to play both sides of the ball all game in the NFL, that was people understood going into it. Most people were like, that's not a thing you can do in the NFL. But there has to be some kind of split that makes sense for you to get value out of him at both positions, because that's what made him a draw. It wasn't that you were getting a potential top 5 wide receiver in the league, maybe not even top 10 wide receiver. It wasn't that you were getting a top 3 corner. It was like, we can get a really good corner and a really good wide receiver all in one. It's just a matter of how we split those snaps up, because there's no way he's going to do what he did at Colorado and play damn near a whole game. That's just not, in the NFL, it's not possible.
Okay, so if you could tie together Mike St. Russell and Jahan Dotson into one player, would you say that's worth trading up a first and a future first for?
Well, because you're calling his wide receiver capabilities Jahan Dotson, and that's an insult.
Yeah, no, he's probably a little bit worse than Jahan Dotson right now based off last
No,
year.
I think I'd wait, like I say about most rookies, give them more than 1 year to determine who they are, if they're robust or not. That's just not fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. We had to do that with Puka. Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't, did we? And Puka went in the 5th round.
So you can't pick outliers and use it as your basis for your argument.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll just pick another. Mika Egbuka, We got to give him some time to figure out if he can play wide receiver in this league. We want to go with another wide receiver drafted behind him? Tedoror McMillan. We got to figure out. We got to wait and see if Tedoror McMillan can play wide receiver in this league.
Who do you hate more and wish for the downfall of more, Travis Hunter or Fernando Mendoza at this point? Is it just whoever gets drafted number 1 you hate?
Travis Hunter went number 2, motherfucker.
Oh, that's right.
I hate all people that are younger than me and more successful. What do you mean?
Fair point.
Yeah. I want them all to die in a burning, fiery plane crash on their way to what con do people go to now? Is there like a TikTok con?
TwitchCon.
I don't think
Travis Hunter streams, I think.
Yeah, I mean he's got to be doing something
At
with
least
at home.
he did during college. I don't know if he's kept doing the NFL.
So you tell me during college he was playing full-time wide receiver, full-time cornerback, and was a full-time streamer?
Yep, he did it all.
Do you
Triple
think
threat,
that if
this guy?
maybe if he gave up the streaming, he would turn like into Jamar Chase combined with Devon Witherspoon?
I'm not a huge like Travis Hunter guy, but because you've been so negative, Travis Hunter, it's made me start pulling for him more.
I do like to back you into a corner to make you have to defend someone.
Yeah,
Like
I feel the
was,
need to defend him.
Who was the offensive coordinator, two offensive coordinators for Buffalo?
Wait, you mean like Brian Dable?
No, the guy between Dable and
Oh,
Brady.
Dorsey?
Yeah, that's like when I made you have to start defending Joe Brady after he got hired because I just kept talking about how Ken Dorsey was better than him. So you had to become a Joe Brady. Now he's your head coach, and you can't back out of it now.
Well, I can't. All right. What's the next on the news items?
Another news: two guys hired for their offensive acumen are giving up play calling duties this year. Mm-hmm. And Sean Payton and Dave Canales, who are turning over play calling to their offensive coordinators. Is this a sign of a change in times? Is this because Sean Payton's play calls are longer than a fucking what's the restaurant? Cheesecake Factory menu.
Yeah. They're long. They're very long. They're multiple pages.
Very long. Yeah. He might still be calling some plays from the AFC title game right now. We don't know.
Yeah, they're like a spiral notebook. We don't know.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Do you think this is a sign of a change in the league where if you're not a top tier play caller as a head coach, you're just going to give it over to someone else? Like outside of your, your McVays, your Kubiaks.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the sign of the times. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe coaches are maybe there's less stubborn coaches who have as much of like a leash as they used to. Canales definitely makes sense because he has no like built up kind of, oh, my job is super secure. Sean Payton, I mean, I feel like it would take either like multiple losing seasons or a couple like terrible like losing seasons for him to get the axe. But I mean, maybe he's realizing like the offense hasn't been that, especially last year, the offense wasn't that great. So maybe he's realizing like, hey, maybe doing all this myself isn't good. Also, that could have been part of the deal for Davis Webb because there was a lot of people interested in him, and it could have been a situation where they're like, hey, stay, you're going to be our OC, and I'm going to give you play calling, so don't worry.
Is this the first time in his life that multiple people have been interested in Davis Webb?
Probably. Probably. Same thing with Canales. Like the offense wasn't that great last year, so it might be smart to turn that over to someone else.
Yeah, so I mean, and I agree with that to a level, but like what would it take for this to be a movement where coaches are going to go back to being CEO types with these high powered offensive coordinators? Like I don't want to jump the gun because we're going to talk about this later. It is crazy how many first time coordinators we have in the league this year. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if this is like a new thing where the next coordinator up is such a hot commodity. Doesn't it like it almost it's like a counterfactual to me. Like doesn't it make more sense for the coach to just maintain play calling? Because every halfway decent offensive coordinator is getting hired to a new job next year.
Yeah.
And I mean halfway decent because there's some shit offensive coordinators who got hired to new jobs.
I think it could be a shift in maybe people aren't thinking so much about the like that offense is really good, but we know who is actually calling the plays. Maybe people are starting to ignore that a little bit more, and so coaches are going to start to realize like if I don't turn over play calling, that dude's probably going to take another job where he gets to actually call the plays, and then which would be another chip in his hat or feather in his cap, whatever. To eventually get a head coaching job. It could be that, but there's still going to be your outlying examples. Like just like McVay. Does McVay actually still call the offensive plays, or is that just like a nudge, wink, wink, nudge, nudge? We know who's calling plays.
No, McVay calls the plays. What do you mean?
Okay, so so there's still going to be examples like McVay, who's like, he's still going to keep doing it. in the two situations we're looking at here, Canales and Sean Payton, those offenses weren't very good last year. Unless Bryce Young was playing the Rams. Those were his 2 best games of the year. The exception to that, like, those offenses weren't good. So it makes sense for that coach to be like, hey, I should probably turn this over to someone else. I can't handle all of it. Or in Peyton's case, it could be like, hey, what I'm thinking and what I used to do back in the day isn't working. So let's go with a young guy who's 31 years old and let him take a crack at it. See what he sees in the modern NFL.
Yeah, it seems like a phenomenally selfish move and uncontrolling move by an NFL coach, which I guess is part of what surprises me. Like,
right.
How often can you say, man, that NFL coach really put himself aside and did something for someone else?
But also, you could say that that is true. But there's also the world, like in Canales' situation. If that offense is like terrible this year and they win like 3 games, let's say that happens, he can be like, I messed up giving play calling to that guy. I'm going to fire him. Don't fire me. It's not my fault. So it gives you an extra out.
So, do you think that Canales and Peyton are quietly on hot seat watch?
Peyton, no. Canales, I don't think he's on, like, I don't think he's going into the year on hot seat watch.
But he's on hot seat watch.
Yeah, but if like things regressed backwards from where they were last year, he could quickly end up on the hot seat. Like, I don't think winning I think they were 9-8. That's what won the division.
I think they were 8-9. Hold on.
Maybe it was 8-9. Either way, like 8-9, 9-8, winning division there doesn't buy you a lot of leeway.
They were 8-9.
Yeah,
and they won the division, losing 2 games.
Yeah, they won the division and made the playoffs. So that's enough for him to not wake up every morning and seeing like Dave Canales on hot seat headlines across the internet. But it's nowhere near enough to where if you finish like 6-11 this year, you're probably still going to have a job. You're not. You're probably going to be fired, unless you could say, "Hey, not my fault. There's this piece of shit offensive coordinator. I gave him play calling, and he's just so dumb."
He really failed. He would he lost the division. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I mean, like the owner's David Tepper. So like, how hard is it to pull one over him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just, if he fires you, just go back in the next day wearing a fake mustache, call yourself David Canales, and you'll still have a job. Mike, the only other major news story to hit recently, or at least the only one that really caught my eye that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet, is that maybe Kyler's ghosting Monte Ossenfort, the GM of the Arizona Cardinals, or maybe he's not.
Really
Ossenfort says they've been talking daily, and I'm going to go ahead and quote the ESPN article here. A source close to Murray says they have not had any contact. So one of those two people is lying. Is it Ossenfort? Is the source close to Murray? Is he ghosting Ossenfort? Is he going to show up for work? How many hours is Kyler Murray logging on Call of Duty right now? Has anyone checked? What's his gamer tag?
This rings somewhat similar to the last year where it was like, oh, Parsons, contract negotiations are still ongoing. And then Parsons eventually made his statement and he was like, they're not talking to me. Nothing is happening. Yeah. They're liars. So it could be that's kind of what it feels like in this situation. But I mean, if I'm Kyler, I'd probably talk to him to see what they're saying. Like, hey, where do you want to go? We'll get you out of here. Or, hey, we're going to cut you either way. You're getting out of here. Like, I don't know why he would ghost them unless he just loves Arizona and no longer wants to be there, or doesn't want. He loves living there. Doesn't want to leave Arizona. Glendale, wherever the hell they are.
Let me ask you this: Kyler Murray for Tua Tagovailoa. Who says no?
I could see. I don't know why either side would say yes, but I also don't really know why they would say no. It feels like a pretty lateral move, but maybe it's a hope that hey, different environment, different situation, it will go better for him with us. That's probably what they would both be telling themselves.
Let's see. Yeah, the only reason I think that it would apply is also just who has the shorter contract and who cares about winning less this year.
Which Kyler, Has one
Yeah.
more year, and then you can cut him for free.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyler has one more year and then a team option after that, so like you said, cut him for free. Boy, don't you just love all of the ads on Spot Track? You know the website's like 65% ad now?
Yeah. And if you want like any detailed information, they're like, you got to pay us for that. Fuck off.
So Tua you could cut for a $34 million cap hit, or after this year he has 2 more years left on his deal. So I guess Arizona would say no?
They'd probably say no.
Yeah. Because they also have Jacoby Brissett. Are you going to play Tua over Jacoby Brissett? No. What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. for an Aaron Rodgers sign-in trade. Who says no?
I hope Arizona says no. I
According
feel like,
to you, you should just trade them both plus a first straight up for Travis Hunter. So
that's not what I said. I also like months ago on this, like during the season, I said like the Cardinals need to just suck it up, deal with Kyler for one more year, cut him for free. But I also get the argument that's like, hey, he hates it here, doesn't want to be here. He's going to be like just a dick to have around. So let's figure it out now.
yeah, I don't know it's because he has like resting rat face, but he doesn't look like a guy who'd be pleasant to be around if he was in a bad mood.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Cardinals and Austin Fort, I'm trying to get him on the phone to butter him up, make it sound like it's going to be, you know, butterflies and rainbows next season, just to get him happy, and then go one more year with him, and then just be like, all right, see you later. Like, what would happen? Like, worst case scenario, if they do shit, we're going into a deep QB class. Like, isn't that really the hope here? We just bridge one more year to get to the good quarterback class?
Yeah, if I was them, I'd cut both quarterbacks and play my center at quarterback.
I'm saying, if you think about it, like how many teams make the playoffs again? 14. So the other 18 teams in the league this year are basically, they should be going into it with like, hey, we just need someone to start this year, and if it goes shitty, next year's QB class is deep. What do we care?
Yeah, and that, like, if we were doing like the tank power rankings right now, with their current setup, I don't think Arizona's in the top 3.
Oh, tanking wise, no, because they actually do have like talent at a lot of positions.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it makes sense for them to trade Kyler Murray for Tua. You get a guy in the building who's not going to be throwing fits. You get a guy who's not going to start. No.
I guess.
Yeah. Although Brissett might win you more games than having Tua start, so maybe you think about starting
You do
Tua.
got to watch out for that, because
Yeah.
the brisket would win you some weird games that you shouldn't, and you'd be like, God damn it, Jacoby.
Didn't he have like 500 and something yards in a loss last year? He threw like nearly a perfect game.
But McBride has to love him, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he turned McBride into like a first-round draft pick in fantasy.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Let me do a quick ESPN check to see if Aaron Rodgers has announced his retirement.
I put a thing. I put a thing on there. Did you forget?
Oh, I forgot to copy over the new rundown. Yeah, you even texted me about this, Mike.
Yeah.
Is there? Hold on. Let me. Ooh, Mike, I got good news for you. Tremaine Edmonds to seek a trade.
Come back to Buffalo. No, just kidding. That would make too much sense for Brandon Bean. You wouldn't do that.
Let me set this up for you. So I'm going to edit it out so no one realizes that you already told me about this. You see, Mike, this is what I was trying to evoke earlier with the whole Jacksonville thing from you.
Oh, okay.
Ready? Ready? Okay. Take 2. Mike, did I miss anything else? Is there any other news items we need to talk about?
Yes. Oh, I was supposed to say no?
No, you were supposed to say yes. That was the
Yes.
fucking Sean Connery in a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen ass line delivery. But yeah, what did I miss, Mike? What do we need to talk about?
So there was a report today that Malik Willis.
What? Oh, sorry, I wanted to.
Yeah.
I jumped
That's
the gun
not
on
the
it.
what yet.
Sorry, hold on.
Hold
Let me get there.
Quote unquote, it's let me pull up the exact thing I sent you.
Oh my god.
I mean, you didn't know about this. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Jordan Schultz, NFL Insider, said #Packers free agent. How do you hashtag that? That's an unnecessary hashtag.
Get to the point, Mike.
Like, I'm saying, like, how many people are going to Twitter, going to the search, and being like #Packers?
Mike,
anyway,
no one's going to Twitter anymore. It's all bots.
That's true. That's what Josh Pate told us. You don't get that reference, but anyway. Free agent QB Malik Willis is in demand as expected. And interested teams I've spoken to. Teams I've spoken to at the combine in Indianapolis believe him getting at least $30 million per year is a foregone conclusion. Adam, are you paying $30 million a year for Malik Willis?
What? No. I mean, quarterback contracts are ridiculous, right? Like, let me ask you this: Is Malik Willis 50% as good as Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, 50% seems fair.
Then there is an argument to be made to pay him $30 million a year.
I can stomach 30 mil. I guess my big question is just the term. And, the details of the contract.
Now that I said it out loud, I don't know if Malik Willis is 50% as good as Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, he started a few games and they won them, and then people are like, Malik Willis.
Right, but I'm also the guy that made the argument that, like, maybe Mike LaFleur, which one's the Green Bay one? Mm-hmm. Matt LaFleur. Maybe Matt LaFleur is like a top 3 coach in the NFL. Like, he started off his career there with 3 straight 13-3 seasons, including the one after Rodgers left. He's made the playoffs almost every single year. The offense is always good. So maybe he's just a really good coach, and we don't give him enough credit because he looks really obnoxious. So, like, are we really about to, like, Matt Flynn ourselves? And Malik Willis is going to go to fucking Pittsburgh for $31 million a year, and Mike McCarthy's going to be like, we got our quarterback of the future, and then he's going to throw he's going to go like 11 for 21 with 1 interception for 199 yards in week 1, and we're going to be like, oh my god, why did we pay this guy $30 million?
Unless like I said, it's funny because I was about to say this is the same organization who put Matt Flynn out there, who had one monster game, and then teams were all about it. That's my thing. Like, if it was like, oh, Malik Willis gets $30 million a year on like a 1-1 or like a 3-year deal where the third year is a team option, I'd be like, all right, fine, I can stomach that.
Yeah.
That would make sense to me.
Look,
but it's like the
now I will say 2 things here. First off, my God, Mike, can you shift over some so you're?
I don't know what to do. I was just looking. There we go.
All right, Mike's in the side of his frame for a little bit. I will say this: progress is not linear when it comes to athletes improving. So sometimes it does take them a while, and then they figure it out. And also, Malik Willis has a very small sample size of games.
Yes,
but not counting last year, which was his spike year. He's played 18 games. He's started 5. As a complete record, he is 3-2 in those 5 games started, with a 62.5% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He also has a 13.3% sack rate.
Yeah, that's not good.
He's like, I get it. Like, he was really good in the games he had to step in after Jordan Love went out last year. And really good is even a little strong. He played competently. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm willing to take a $30 million bet on that, especially if it's multiple years. If you found out tomorrow that the Jets signed him for 2 years, $60 million, I'm like, great move. Good bit of business. If you're wrong, it's off the books next year. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, and if you're wrong and you
get Arch Manning.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's fine. So, well, that like kind of speaks to it. So much of that number is, I think, backed by this isn't a strong QB class again. And so there's teams in like the minutia and like this, we didn't make the playoffs and we're in like this weird area where it's like, dear God, we need a quarterback. We have to have because NFL teams are so like hung up on like you either have a quarterback or you don't. And so that's how players get overdrafted. And that's how QBs get signed. That's how Russell Wilson continues to get signed by NFL teams at this point in his career.
Oh, Russell Wilson. Is he on a roster right now?
Russ? I think he's still under contract with the Giants, I believe. That wasn't a 1-year deal.
Excellent.
I think it was 10 years, actually. They signed him
I hope
for
John
10
Harbaugh
years.
starts him. I hope Harbaugh starts him. What should actually be the rate for Malik Willis? Like, what is
15?
Brissett getting? Brissett's getting like minimum.
Yeah, wait, listen to that. Daniel Jones got picked up last year by the Colts, and they paid him $14. So that's what I'm looking at for Malik Willis. some starting experience, not a lot at all. Good physical tool set. You hope he could put it together. You know, if you're a team with a very good offensive-minded staff, you think, hey, we can get more out of them. I'd say $15 million, fine. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Once again, $15 million on a short-term deal.
How many offensive staffs do you think are legitimately better than what he would be leaving in Green Bay?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's simply a player I do not want to take a bet on. However, I would take him over Kyler Murray. So, there is that.
There you go. He's going to Arizona. $45 million a year.
Marvin Harrison Jr. finally going to be a top 50 wide receiver?
Definitely. Willis to MHJ? Let's go.
MW to MHJ. It'll be the first MW in Arizona that doesn't make the coaching staff sad. Is that a little too obscure? Modern Warfare, you see.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, what did Michael Wilson do to you? I was confused.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Michael Wilson, as does everyone.
Yeah.
Mike, it is Combine Week. That's right, the Combine is going on right now. And if you don't know, the word Combine is spelled identically to the word combine. It's just a weird it's a weird turn of English where if a word is both a verb and a noun, you pronounce it differently and you put an emphasis on a different syllable for the noun version versus the verb version. So the NFL Combine is actually what used to be several different events that were combined together into one event, which is why it's called the Combine. So as such, instead of doing anything to do with the NFL Combine, the thing everyone's going to be Googling, it'll be great for SEO, I just did a pun. I did a pun, Mike. I did a pun. I built all of this off of a pun, and that is that we're going to do the NFL combined this week. That's right, we're combining NFL things. That's the gimmick. Fucking, you don't like it? Go listen to Barstool, you fucking pervert.
I can't remember. There's a podcast I think I listened to that referred to the Combine as the Underwear Olympics. And that always popped me.
That's pretty good.
I can't remember who to give that credit to, so I apologize.
We should figure out how to do that with women.
The Underwear Olympics.
Oh, I just checked the internet and I've been canceled for that joke.
No. You misogynist.
I know. This is why women throw eggs at me on the street. Mike, we have 3 different events in our NFL combined. We'll start with this one. We're going to do a unified ranking together of the 2025, 2026, and 2027 QB draft class.
I hate this so much.
I haven't heard from you in days, and I'm pretty sure it's because of this segment.
I've thought this. I've overthought it. And I now have a list written down by hand at the last second that I think I like. I also just realized that a lot of edits and things that it's all fucked up. It's all fucking fucked up.
It's all fucking fucked up.
Let's see what happens.
So I think what we need to do is come to a consensus top 5.
Okay.
I think that's the right way to do this. But we're going to come to a consensus ranking of those 3 classes combined into one. So let's start here, Mike. Do you have anyone from last year's class, this year's class, or next year's class who is a no question top 5 quarterback out of those groups?
Yes.
And who would that be?
So in the top 5, I think there's no question about a few guys. One of which, here we go. It's good for SEO. Arch Manning. Started out slow last year, started to get it together. He still has so many of the tools that are going to make NFL scouts just drool all over their, I imagine, like, notepad with handwritten notes.
Oh, you've seen the commercial, right, with the Microsoft Surface where the guy has Copilot.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like, which one of these guys has leadership skills? And Copilot goes, I can't calculate that.
They go, here's what I found for you. Starting linebacker added to your shopping list. God damn it. So I think Manning is in that top 5 for sure. DJ Moore is also in that top 5. He would have been.
Wait, what?
He would have. DJ? Did I say DJ Moore? Dante Moore?
He said DJ Moore.
Dante Moore is also in that top 5 for sure.
I might be pushing back on that one. We'll see when we get there. I might be pushing back on Dante Moore in the top 5.
Once again, skill set, arm talent, what he's able to do. I think
By what he's able to do, you specifically mean that he is able to throw a football but not allowed to ride a roller coaster?
Okay. I'm just ignoring that. I don't think he would not have caught Mendoza this year to go before him, but another year of development, what he could possibly do this year at Oregon could make him the bona fide number one.
Is 6'3"? That can't be right.
Yeah. Physically, he's fine. I don't know what you're getting upset about. Like, his build's fine.
He looks so small.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because the one game I watched him in, he played against Fernando Mendoza, who's like a walking truck.
Like, as crazy as it sounds, like, the draft is somewhat like high school recruiting. There's certain things that are, consistent, and like he wouldn't have been as high as he was in his recruiting class if he was 5'10".
I don't know where he was in his recruiting
class.
class. He went to Oregon. Name one good quarterback that ever went to Oregon.
First of all, he went to UCLA before he realized his mistake, and then transferred to Oregon, who was originally recruiting him at a high school. Anyway, Francisco Mendoza, top 5. Kid's pretty good. And this is where it's going to get testy. This is such a hard thing to do.
Why'd you call him Francisco? Was that on purpose?
Fernando.
Yeah, it really fucked me up.
Francisco. Yeah.
I couldn't remember his name after you said Francisco.
Is his brother's name Francisco? Was that my mistake? Anyway.
I know. I saw you were fucking around and it really worked on me. You broke me for a second.
Yeah. What's his brother's name? No, his brother's name's Alberto, so I don't know where the hell I got. That has to be the whitest Fernando and Alberto I've ever seen in my life. Can we all be honest here for a second?
Well, his last name's Mendoza.
Anyway.
He's definitely not like fucking Norwegian.
That's true. I'm just saying. Next name. This is what I don't think he comes out next year, but he very well could if he has just like a monster season and the word his agents are getting to him. Be like, you just go. CJ Carr played extremely well in his first year at Notre Dame. What he showed, not just on the field from what he was from what he was able to do in the throws he was able to make. On top of that, just his leadership as a first-year starter and his decision-making, his confidence were off the charts. I won't be surprised if I don't know if he's going to go next year because NIL is so lucrative, and so it's like, hey, if you're not going to be drafted this high, why not get the bag at college for one more year? But if he was, I wouldn't be surprised if he could be up there. So I like big C. Obviously, I'm biased. Go Irish.
Irish also.
This is where it's going to get.
Is not.
This is where it's going to get very testy because my other guy who I think should be considered the top 5 is Julian Sand. I think Julian Sand's phenomenal, and what he did in year 1 as a starter was really good. Yeah, he did not play a great game there against Indiana. Or against like Miami. Miami had a freakish pass rush. It was his first year as a starter. What he could do next year, it could vault him up boards. Even if it doesn't vault him up boards, when he comes out, he is a first-round quarterback. These guys, I'm all saying, are first-round quarterbacks.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts for me.
Let's stop there because I do want to put some arbitrary limits on this, especially if we're going to get to a top 5. So first off, any of these guys, Arch Manning, Dante Moore, CJ Carr, or Julian Sand, are any of them below a 50% chance of coming out next year? Because I said we got to boot a top 5 ranking.
Okay.
For last year, this year, and next year, we have to kick anyone off who it's more likely than not they will not be in the draft next year. Because my question mark said
I'd say
CJ Carr's the biggest question mark. Yeah.
Yeah, CJ Carr's a big question mark, so we could go ahead and scrape him from the list because I think he'd be like I think going in, it's like a sub 50% chance he goes.
Okay. And Dante Moore is a senior, right? Like he's going to have to come out next year. This is his last year of eligibility. Yeah. Arch Manning's another question because they said Arch Manning's going to play. He's going to stay in college all 4 years, right?
Well, this is going to be Dante Moore's 4th year. He has. You
mean Arch Manning?
No.
Dante Moore
would have.
Dante Moore's in his last year of eligibility, right?
No, he would have another after this year, but there's no way he stays.
Yeah. And then what about Arch Manning? Because his dad said he's definitely coming out this year, and then his granddad said he's not or something, right?
Right. This is his 4th year at Texas. He would have another year. However, they've said like he's going to play 4 years and he's going to go.
Got it. Okay. And Julian Sand is the same class as Arch Manning?
No, Julian Sand's in a similar situation to CJ Carr. He's he was a redshirt freshman last year, so he'll be a sophomore this year. However, that does make 3 years, so he could go. I don't know if he will, so we could strike him from the list as well because he's a 50-50 for me.
We'll keep him on here now, and if we get to anyone else to put him on, 50-50 is that's doable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that drops us down to 4 because we kicked CJ Carr off. Now, can I throw some names your way?
Yeah.
Healthy Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, he's definitely in consideration.
Yeah.
I have him just outside of that top 5.
Garrett Nussmeier and Ty Simpson are both in the conversation because both those guys, it turns out, were really hurt. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier had the quote where he said that after whatever that his first injury was, whenever that happened, it was like he was out for like 2 weeks and they still couldn't figure out what was wrong with him.
Yeah, and from the sound of it, it took him a long time throughout the year, to actually accurately diagnose that because he got hurt in August of like, I don't know, like a 2-3 weeks or whatever outside of the season.
Yeah. And then same thing with Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson had like the shredding of his stomach lining because he was taking so many painkillers to deal with all of his injuries.
Yeah.
So healthy versus those guys, would either one of them bounce into your top 5? And if so, which one? Because Ty Simpson for the first half of the season looked like the best quarterback in the draft until Fernando Latinx Mendoza jumped up the list.
His first game obviously was rough against Florida State, and then he played some nobody week 2 pull together, and then they went on that stretch there for like 4-5 straight weeks where they beat top-ranked opponents, and he was just nails. Like at the time, I was infatuated with him because not just like the confidence in every throw was just off the charts. And then it started to break down for him as the injuries mounted up. So I do like Simpson. I've been a Nuss Bus guy for a long time. I think a healthy Nuss Bus could be really good. Obviously, he's going to the Saints because of his daddy, right? Oh, but that's right. I forgot. They got Tyler Shuck. They got 85-year-old Tyler Shuck there holding stuff down.
What did you become anti-Shuck?
We flipped because you were the more anti-Shuck guy.
Yeah. And then I started to like him, which makes. Do you not like me? Is that what I'm learning from this podcast?
No, I just for content purposes, I got to be the yang to your yin. You know,
over time, have you grown to resent me because I'm always texting you asking if you want to do the podcast at 4:30?
No.
Is that why you resent me? Is it because I keep beating you in chess? Is that why you hate me?
So I think both those names are up for consideration for that 5 spot. Can I throw a couple more out though that I have in like that range?
Yeah.
First of all, this is also including last year's draft class. So Cam Ward.
Yep. So I was going to make the Cam Ward argument because I think Cam Ward's very good.
And then another guy who you loved, you got his name tattooed on you in the offseason, Lenora Sellers.
Yeah. Lenora Sellers is above 50-50 come out next year, right? This is his last year of eligibility.
Yeah, and I think, he's definitely going to be coming out. If he would have actually played like people expected, he would have came out this past year, but it just didn't go that way.
Yeah.
So if he plays like people expected last year, this year, he's going to be one of the top 3 QBs off the board, in my personal opinion, come next year.
What about Chambliss?
So I'm a big Chambliss guy. Obviously, he got his waiver, so he won't be coming out till next year. His size is probably the biggest thing working against him for NFL scouts. So,
should one of us mention Jackson Dart?
No, I don't have him in the top 10. If we're combining all these classes, I don't.
Got it. Okay, so we need to come to a consensus on this 5th spot. I would say the top.
You know what makes this really hard though?
What?
Is there's 2 dudes coming out next year who are they're gonna be 5-year seniors, in Brendan Sorsby and Sam Levitt, and both those guys are extremely talented. Sam Levitt, I have many more questions about. Brendan Sorsby could also be really good, but just to throw him out there because people may listen to this and be like, "Hey, what about Sorsby and Levitt?" If I'm comparing them to the potential ceiling of the other guys I've mentioned, it's just different. There's different ceilings there. So that's kind of like the big deciding factor. I just wanted to put that on record.
I appreciate you putting that on record. I would say the 3 people fighting for that 5th spot, or 4. I'll throw an extra name in there. Cam Ward, Ty Simpson, Nussbus Garrett Nussmeier, and Tyler Shuck. Who do you feel most confidently about?
Fuck
What's
off.
up?
Are you being serious?
He had, of all the rookie quarterbacks,
I don't want to hear about it, Adam.
he had the best season. Of those three, since you don't want to hear about Tyler Shuck, who do you feel the most confident in? I will say, the Ward advantage is we've seen Ward do it at the highest level, and he's been functional to good. He's had flashes. He's not immediately washed.
If healthy Nussmeier is what I think healthy Nussmeier can be, then absolutely that'll be my pick there. I'll say Garrett Nussmeier. I'm still holding a lot of stock.
Garrett Nussmeier is very small.
What's very small by your terms? Because for you, if people aren't like 6'8", 300, you're like, whoa, little tiny little bitch.
Excuse me. You could put 6 Jaden Daniels next to each other and they wouldn't be 300. So.
That's true. You hate him now.
Yeah, I hate him. Weak elbows, and needs to eat more of those Campbell's chunky soups that he's advertising.
Okay, ESPN has him at 6'1", 205. That's like right at the barrier of entry.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, scouts are gonna be like, "Hey, can you pack on 10 pounds?"
How many 6'1" quarterbacks? How many 6'1" quarterbacks have been successful in the NFL?
Drew Brees was he 6'1"?
He's probably 6 foot.
Drew Brees, 6 foot on the dot.
Yeah, it's small. They're undersized for quarterbacks.
Brees is an outlier, by the way, just so everybody understands.
Yeah, that 6'1" is undersized for a quarterback. Now Cam Ward, not exactly fucking Yao Ming out there.
No,
Ty Simpson might be. I mean, Cam Ward is thick, which helps. Mm-hmm. But all three guys have at least a question mark about their size a little bit.
When making this list, it was such a thing for me where I was like, oh, fuck, where do I put Ward? I don't want to be too disrespectful, but I'm like super high on a lot of the guys coming out next year. I really like Mendoza. Where do I put him? So if we're going in order here, he's like basically like we've said, he's in like that 6 to 10 range with these other guys we've been talking about. But even I remember during the draft process, when we talked about him, I was like, if he came out the year before, which was obviously Caleb, Daniels, May, I was like, he would have been behind all those guys.
Yeah.
And I was also like, shit, he was probably, in my opinion, be behind Penix. But I could have been wrong in that one.
I mean, now he wouldn't be, but
no,
probably at the time,
now he wouldn't.
Who has the best arm talent of the three? I mean, Cam Ward kind of rose up draft boards off of elite arm talent.
Mm-hmm. I don't think coming into the league, I don't think a Simpson. I'm not going to say Nussmeier. I don't think Simpson would be as turnover prone in his rookie year. Whether you want to use that you can say like, oh, he's going to play it safe and check the ball down like a little bitch. You could be that guy. But I don't think he's taking snaps and all of a sudden the ball magically dropping out of his hands. Knock on wood, it could happen. I don't know,
that is also part of the Cam Ward problem, is that he's got small hands. I would say, in my estimation, with the most recent information we have, I think Cam Ward's better than Nussmeier or Simpson. But you've watched more college, so I'll let you have the final tiebreaker vote here.
I mean, at the end of the day, what Ward did at Miami is better than anything we've seen from a production standpoint. It's better than anything we've seen Nussmeier or Simpson do. So I will give that 5th spot to Cam Ward. Yeah, also in the NFL. He has more NFL yards than those two. So I will give it to Ward slightly begrudgingly. Can I ask you a question before we move on?
Yeah.
I saw a pretty good comp with some caveats, in my opinion, for Mendoza the other day of like a mix of Jared Goff and Brock Purdy. Does that make you... What does that do to your opinion of him?
I mean, that's kind of already what I thought he was.
Okay, so it's 6 round there.
Yeah,
he doesn't have tiny hands like Goff, though, I don't think.
No, he doesn't have tiny hands. He's a big dude. Like, I almost think that he's like Jared Goff plus Brock Purdy minus the rushing of Brock Purdy.
So he can run, but it's definitely nowhere near like a thing he immediately goes to. You're absolutely right. He's a break glass kind of runner.
I like to make sense. Yeah, kind of like Stafford. I kind of like to make fun of Mendoza because, you know, he doesn't swear and he thinks that God's the reason he won football games.
He did swear.
But
he said fuck.
He was like the first 60 seconds of this podcast.
He actually said "fucking" to be exact.
A thing he might have not done yet in his life. I called him a virgin. I've called him a virgin. Here's my, like I tongue in cheek make jokes about Fernando Mendoza, but like really I am concerned with how much the offense did not seem to trust him to be the driving force of the offense.
See, I see it differently. I feel like they absolutely trusted him in the biggest moments, and I think that's one of his not his biggest selling point to NFL scouts right now, but it's kind of like it's the sprinkles on top of what he can do is they watched him in the biggest moments come through against Oregon, against Penn State, leading that drive when they were down to win that game. He just had so many moments like that, and so I think that leadership and that big moment, the way he excelled in big moments, is something that scouts are really going to love.
Which, like the comp I've had in my head for him is he's Jared Goff, but with the big fake hands that the lawyer from It's Always Sunny has on.
True, but also, I mean, never mind. Go ahead.
You can win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff with bigger hands. But you have to have a very good team. Like, it's not going to be you have a great offensive coordinator and Drake May and somehow make a miracle run to the fucking Super Bowl, right? Like, it's going to be Fernando Mendoza goes to a team with good infrastructure who brings in good receivers, and he's not going to fuck it up, and he is going to play well. He's like in his late prime, Peyton Manning is like the upper threshold for, in my head, what Fernando Mendoza can be.
Yeah. Now, I will say, what Goff had at California, the team around him and the coaching staff was obviously not as good as what Mendoza had.
Yeah.
But Goff didn't win shit at California. Mendoza has a Heisman and a national title ring.
Yeah,
and his play dictated that. In big games where the season could have been lost, it was Goff who stepped up and made the plays. Now, I also understand a difference between me and you. You're not as big of an intangible guy as I am. I can get sucked into intangibles sometimes. It's a fault of mine. So I can understand that people giving Mendoza credit for that doesn't weigh as much with you.
Yeah, I mean, Davis Webb seems like a great guy in the locker room. You want him to come play quarterback for you?
That's totally different. I hate you sometimes.
Okay, but we need to move on. We need to get our definitive rankings in order.
I gave it to you.
The whole combined aspect of this also includes that we are going to combine on the rankings here.
So
here's what we have as the top 5 right now. I don't give a fuck about your top 5. I'm saying what we have as our top 5 right now. Our top 5 that we have it in this order right now: Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sayin, Cam Ward.
Yep.
Can I convince you to flip Sayin and Mendoza?
You like Sayin better than Mendoza?
Yeah, and mind you, I watched very limited college, but Sayin's dude. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to push it because I'm not trying to do anything wild here. I also will point out that we have Mendoza, who is the presumptive number 1 pick behind Dante Moore, who when he was coming out was not going to be the number 1 pick.
So
I think there's part of me that wants to argue Sayin number 1 overall.
You don't have to argue. I love Julian Sayin. Going into the season, everybody was like, "Oh, week 1, Arch Manning against Ohio State. He's the only quarterback playing. No one cares about the other guy." And I was like, Julian Sayin was kind of like a 5-star prospect, one of the best quarterbacks in his class, and he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
So I'm totally. And then he turned out to have be like a Heisman finalist. So he was unreal. So I don't know, but it was weird because in doing this, I'm factoring in what I think of each player, what they've done, what scouts are going to like. There are so many factors going into it, which is how I landed at Manning number 1.
Okay, let me pitch you on this top 5.
Okay.
Manning, Sayin, Mendoza, Moore, Ward. If you are dead set on it, I would also go Manning. I would go Manning, Mendoza, Sayin, Moore, Ward. I just think we cannot possibly have Dante Moore ahead of Fernando Mendoza. When in the pre-draft process, when we thought Dante Moore might come out, no one had any team taking Dante Moore over Mendoza.
I'm fully on board with that top 5 of Manning, Sayin, Mendoza, Moore, Ward.
Okay, let me reorient it. Try saying that 15 times fast.
Yeah. You know what the thing,
Manning,
like while you're
Mendoza, Moore, Ward.
while you're typing that, I will just say like that the other thing about the Sorsby Levitt thing is like they're so experienced, and so sometimes it's tough to cut through. This dude was the top guy in the transfer portal. He's making stupid money. A big part of it is he's like a fifth-year senior who has all this experience. How does that translate to the NFL? You really got to break it down. Dylan Gabriel was a big-time transfer portal get for Oregon, but everybody understood even when Oregon got him, like that dude's not a starting NFL quarterback.
Well, and here's
the
also
Browns
the thing
thought
that
possibly, but
you
no.
I think that you tend to underrate this a little bit because you watch a lot of college, so all these guys are like lumped together into your head. But
Yeah.
a guy who is a fifth-year senior, who is a 4-year starter in college, is also 22, 23, sometimes 24 years old, playing against 19-year-olds. Yes, he is going to look better. He is more physically mature. Like, when I was 19, I could not bench press 135. Now, I bench press 612 pounds.
Right.
That's not true.
Well,
for anyone counting.
I was going to give it to you. I remember going into this year, one of the things I heard someone say was like, this year, going into this past college football season, is like, this year's really exciting because there's so many QBs. Like, we've finally gotten rid of a lot of the, like, 6-year, like, super veteran QBs. And so there's a lot of, like, what's going to happen. And also, like, it's a known thing that the NFL is frustrated because of NIL on the transfer portal. There's guys who they want now who are going back to college.
Yeah.
And it pisses them off. So it's fine. But anyway, we can move on.
All right, Mike. I'm cutting the safety segment. I know.
Oh, I was so excited for that segment. Can we please do it?
No, we'll do it another fucking week then, Mike, because
God damn it. I was so excited for that segment.
we're over an hour already.
Can we do it next week?
Yeah, we can do it next week. Put it in the rundown
Thank
for
you.
next week so I remember.
I was so pumped for that segment. I had so much shit to say. Okay, good. All right.
So what we're gonna do, Mike, is we're going to combine for a draft because it's NFL Combine Week. We're gonna combine all the coordinators and do a draft here. Now you might be saying, coordinator draft. We've heard that before. You haven't heard of this one because it's a first time coordinators draft. Only coordinators eligible are coordinators who at the NFL level have never been an offensive, defensive, or special teams coach before.
Yeah.
I figure with the time remaining, we can do 3 or 4 rounds. We'll get through 3 and see if it's worth doing a 4th round.
All right.
And we're not going to do snake because there's only 2 of us. So, Mike, would you like the first or second pick of the draft?
I usually always let you go first. I'm going to go first.
All right, who you taking?
And the good news is that you don't have to worry about me probably taking someone who you were going to take. I'm going to take Chris O'Leary, new defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers.
It's because he
worked his way up.
Dame.
Well, he did coach at Notre Dame for 5 years. Safeties coach of the Chargers in 24. Went to Western Michigan for 2025, and then comes back now to be defensive coordinator. Part of this is that, well, one, he's young. Young coordinators are the way to go. And 2, we have a track record that Jim Harbaugh has an eye for defensive coaching talent. He hired Mike McDonald at Michigan, who then went to Baltimore and created a great defense that hasn't been good since he left. And he just did this pretty big thing called winning a Super Bowl. I don't know if you've heard of it. Jesse Minter.
Yeah, I like how you're projecting forward here, being like,
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh does a really good job because his coordinators win Super Bowls on other teams. He doesn't win any Super Bowls. He's never won a Super Bowl, but his coordinators go other places and win Super Bowls.
I'm just saying, he hires Jesse Minter at Michigan. They have one of the best. Like that year, they won the national title. They had the best defense, hands down. Brings them to the Chargers. They turned around that defense that was playing terrible under Brandon Staley. Played very good the last 2 years, and now he's a head coach at an extremely young age. So I like to think Harbaugh has an eye for defensive play calling talent.
I don't hate it. I'm giving you shit because you took the guy from Notre Dame, and your case was because Mike McDonald won a Super Bowl.
That was not my entire case.
Let me see. Okay. I am going to go. I'm gonna go with the way the NFL thinks about things. Maybe this isn't the best pick on the board, but they're gonna keep hiring these people, and at some point they're gonna be right, and often they are right. But I'm gonna go with Nick Caley, the new offensive coordinator for Houston. He got the classic. Hey, that guy was in an elevator with Sean McVay, wasn't he? Let's hire him to do something important.
Not even on the list.
He was the I believe he was the pass game coordinator last year for the Rams. And you know what Houston could use is a pass game that looks more like the Rams' pass game.
True.
They supposedly have a good quarterback. They definitely have a great wide receiver. It'd just be nice if those two guys gave the ball from one to the other sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with the Sean McVay disciple as my first overall pick, Mike.
Yep.
And you are now at the clock. Do the draft music thing.
Was that it?
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. They should take Shadir Sanders. That was my Mel Kiper. Anyway.
Your Shadir Sanders is like
So,
if Trump was trying to whisper in a library.
I'm going to stick on the defensive side of the ball because it wins championships. And I'm going to go with the new Bills defensive coordinator, Jim Leonhard. All right. Now here's a guy who's got a pretty good track record. All right. He was at Wisconsin from 2016 to 2022, defensive backs coach, then defensive coordinator. That was that time Wisconsin had great defenses, known for having good defenses. Not so much the last couple of years, but still. And then he's kind of moved around. Most recently, he's been on the Broncos as the defensive backs coach and pass game coordinator. Last season, he was the assistant head coach and pass game coordinator. Great track record. Young. I mean, are you going to sit here and tell me the Broncos had a terrible secondary? No, they had a phenomenal secondary. That's because of this guy right here.
How are we going to rate this? How do we decide who won this?
Me.
Okay.
Just me. Me. That's how you rate it. Me.
Very helpful.
I guess we have to come back at the end of next season. See who did better.
Yeah. I mean, then I could just cheat here.
Fucking cheater.
And take Nathan Skielhaas, the new offensive coordinator for the Rams.
That's not fair.
You know what? I think these Los Angeles Rams, I got a stinking suspicion they're gonna have a pretty good offense this year. And I say we give all the credit to Nathan Skielhaas.
Yeah.
Skielhaas. You'll be hearing that name a lot, folks, or not, because he's gonna be the guy sitting on the bench while Sean McVay calls plays. But he will be a head coach in 2 years. Don't you forget it.
Okay.
Mike, who's your third round pick?
They've tried many options the last few years, but they may have finally got it right, these Dallas Cowboys, with their new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your argument on this.
All right, shout out Mr. 757. All right, went to Richmond. He started his coaching career at Virginia State to Norfolk State, spent a year at Notre Dame, A&M. Most recently, his last two stops prior to this, 21 to 23, he was the defensive backs coach at Denver. 24 to 25, passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach at Philly. If you may remember, they had these kids named Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell who were really fucking good right out of the gate. Played a big part in that. Now he goes to Dallas. They haven't had a good defensive coordinator probably since a Bush was in office. Probably the older Bush. Let's be honest.
No one wants to.
I think they got one now.
I can't believe we just left this guy on the board. I think that we just did it out of spite for the hype cycle around it. I'm just going to take Davis Webb. It's the obvious pick. He's got play-calling duties now. He was apparently getting offers to be the president of Nicaragua, but turned it down to stay in Denver. So, I mean, it's the obvious pick. There's some other names on the board I do like here, and now we have to decide if we want to go another round or not. I don't know how confident you feel in your next few picks, but
I go that round.
Okay, we'll go one more round after this. Davis Webb was the offseason news cycle at head coach sometimes. And the guy's never called plays. He's jumping up from a quarterback's coach. He's best friends with Josh Allen. I believe that him and Haley Steinfeld get their nails done together or something. But he probably should have been the first pick, but you went with Chris O'Leary and I went with Nick Caley, so what the fuck are we doing? But I'm going to go Davis Webb here.
So in full transparency,
where I keep taking offensive coordinators and you keep taking defensive
I keep taking defense. So full transparency, I was trying to decide between Davis Webb and Christian Parker for that last one, but I think Christian Parker was a little bit more of a sexy of a pick.
I don't think he was. I think he was more of a hipster pick.
Sexy hipster. I find hipsters, I like hipster women.
You like any woman that could fog a mirror? Like, who's your
What does
next
that
pick?
mean?
It
What does that mean?
It means they're not dead.
Oh.
You see,
That was
because
mean. You're mean.
if you think someone's dead when they're laying in bed, if you hold a mirror in
Yeah.
front of their face, they'll breathe out and it'll fog the mirror.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and if they don't do that, they're dead.
I said I was super confident, and I am. It's just a matter of deciding which one of these dudes I want to settle on. Give me just 2 more seconds to double check one other guy and see if he sways my opinion. And no, he doesn't. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go. Once again, someone I didn't think I would. Nah, actually, I like it. Dope name, by the way. We're gonna go with Brian Fleury, offensive coordinator at Seattle.
Damn it! That's who I was going to take.
Yeah,
Is he the
definitely.
offensive coordinator?
That's what I said. Offensive
Oh,
coordinator.
I thought you said defensive coordinator.
No, I've just taken 3 defensive coordinators, so that's what we signed. But most recently, he was on the San Francisco 49ers staff for a good chunk of time, doing different positions, but, tight ends coach. Last year, he was the run game coordinator and tight ends coach. Greg Kittle's not bad. Christian McCaffrey, kind of good.
what I
now he
like
goes
about
to
that
Seattle
pick,
to
though?
take place for Clint Kubiak.
Brian Fleury. He was a defensive guy for a long time. He coached on the defensive side of the ball. I like that. I like when you see a coach that's been on both sides of the ball.
So you know what I noticed
It's nice.
in doing some research is there's a handful of guys who are defensive coordinators who part of their job role at previous stops was passing game coordinator.
Yeah.
So, which I kind of like. It's like, you have an insight on how to stop the other because you ran the other. Genius.
I'll close out the draft here by going with Andrew Janoko, who the aforementioned Brian Fleury will be taking here. This guy
thought
has
about
followed
him as well.
Kubiak around at like every fucking stop. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that there's a reason for that and that he has some upside in this world. But he basically just gets promoted every time Kubiak goes to a new place.
Yeah, when I was deciding, I said I was trying to decide between a few guys. Janoko was one of them because I like his track record. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of time in the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff making QBs look good. So,
So here's our draft. All the odd number ones are you. All the even number ones are me. First overall, Chris O'Leary. Second, Nick Cayley. 3, Jim Leonard. It's Leonard, not Leonard, right?
either or.
Okay. Jim Lionhearted,
it's
number
Leonard,
3.
yeah.
Number 4, Nathan Skilhaus. Number 5, Christian Parker. Number 6, Davis Webb. Number 7, Brian Fleury. And number 8, Andrew Janoko.
I won. I just took a poll.
Mike's got Gallup on it. All right, with that, Mike, that's all we really got, except for one final segment. The segment we play around these parts every week. A little game called Prospect Wordle. Mike, Prospect Wordle is a weekly competition that you are forced into at gunpoint, where you have 6 opportunities to guess a prospect in the upcoming draft that I have picked out ahead of time. For each guess, Mike receives a hint. Those hints in order: height and weight, draft day, class or times transferred, position, conference, and finally, team.
Yeah.
With that, Mike, are you ready for the final February edition of Prospect Wordle?
Send it.
All right, Mike. This player is 5'9", 188 pounds.
Oh my God, 5'9", 188. Is that Malachi Lemon? He's a little boy.
No, but you do guess Malachi Lemon often.
Which I don't know why, because we're so deep in Prospect Wordle this year that you're not doing first-round picks anymore.
Mike, as if on clue, this player, day 2 pick. 5'9", 188, a day 2 pick.
5'9", 188. Ooh, is that D'Angelo Pons?
No. Close, though.
'Cause that is the... Is it? Are you being sarcastic?
I don't know who the fuck D'Angelo Pons is.
Serious?
Mike, would you like to know this player's class or number of times transferred?
Number of times transferred, please.
All right. 5'9", 188, day 2 prospect. Mike, this player has transferred once.
Transferred
Once.
Once.
What is your thought process here? What position are you guessing?
I'm still stuck on like wide receiver or an undersized defensive back.
Uh-huh.
And I think I got it.
Really
You said
undersized offensive tackle.
Yeah, way undersized. But goddamn, He's got good hips, long arms. I'm going to go ahead and say this guy who I was shouting out before the season started. Really liked the acquisition by Georgia, Zachariah Branch.
No.
Fuck.
5'9", 188. Day 2 prospect, which means that he's between the 32nd and 96th pick in the draft. Transferred once. Mike, this player is a wide receiver. Does that clue help you at all?
I mean, I already said Zachariah Branch.
Which was close. That is close.
Yeah.
But incorrect. So 5'9", 188.
We already
Day
did.
2, 1 transfer, wide receiver.
We already did Elijah Surratt, right? You already gave me that one?
Yeah, because you always went Elijah Surratt. And because there's a movie in theaters now called Surratt.
Surratt.
It's about the desert. Because I guess Surratt is maybe Spanish for desert.
Ooh.
Like Spain Spanish. What's up?
I like this guy. I
many
really
countries?
like this guy.
How many countries have a
Casey
desert?
Concepcion.
No.
Fuck you.
5'9", 188. Day 2, 1 transfer. This player is a wide receiver in the SEC. The SEC.
SEC.
The SEC.
SEC.
Good news for you, Mike. The SEC only has 30, 45 teams, so this should be pretty easy for you to guess.
Yeah, this should be super easy. I don't think he transferred, though. That's the part I'm struggling with, who it could be, but I don't think... Both the guys I'm thinking of in the SEC didn't... I don't think they transferred, but I can't say for sure. I'm going to guess this. I'm almost positive I'm wrong. Chris Brazzle.
No. I think we've had Chris Brazzle before because you always call him Brazzle Dazzle.
Brazzle Dazzle. Brazzle Razzle and Dazzle.
There you go. 5'9", 188. Day 2 pick. Mike, this is your final hint. I don't think that you've ever... I don't think you've busted on a Prospect Wordle this year. So, pressure's on.
Yeah, this is not good.
5'9", 188. Day 2 pick. 1 transfer. A wide receiver in the SEC who played for OU.
Oh, Deion Burks.
Deion Burks is correct, Mike. You have hit Prospect Wordle
Fuck.
in 6 guesses. Congratulations on your continued streak of not sitting on your balls and losing.
You were like transferred once. I'm like, Zachariah Branch. He's a wide receiver. I already said Zachariah Branch. He's in the SEC. I said Zachariah Branch. How big is Zachariah Branch?
It's hard to be smaller than Deion
Zachariah.
Burks. Deion Burks must be fucking good to be 5'9", 188 and right now be a day 2 prospect. Or this is a bad draft.
pretty
One of the
good.
two.
One of the two. See, I was so close. Zachariah Branch, ESPN has him at 5'10", 180.
So
I was
taller
not
and
off
skinnier.
base.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, that's all I got. Anything else we need to mention here?
No, I think we hit it all. Hey, you know what's interesting about this is an interesting note because we were talking coordinators.
What's that?
The NFL has been cannibalizing college coaching staffs, not like head coaches or coordinators, but like positional coaches.
Yeah, they have been.
It just kind of like shined a light on because we've talked about how like once you become a head coach in college, it's very rare that all of a sudden you're going to try to become a head coach in the NFL. I was like, no, like it makes sense now when you think back at it. When you look at people's track records, like that's the pipeline. You're a positional coach, then you make the jump to the NFL, hoping to move up to coordinator and then head coach. That's interesting.
Well, you know what, Mike? No matter what you say, it is in fact a thing that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Quick note: didn't we miss some news about Kirky Q?
Yeah, cut.
Yeah, we didn't even mention it.
Q got cut.
I mean, he hasn't been cut yet. He's expected to be released.
And Pickens got tagged.
Kirky Q is an all-time bag getter. Which we should say, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever said his name. We call him Kirky Q around these parts.
People know. People know. The OGs know.
Just like legendary bag getter, Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah.
And he's going to get the
You know
bag somewhere
what?
else. Somewhere else is going to pay him $31 million a year.
He's also one of those guys who it's like he won nothing, but by God, like in Washington and Minnesota, he put up some numbers.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him. He put up
Does
some
he have a
numbers.
playoff win in his career?
I don't
think he does. I don't think he has a single playoff win.
Like like a good numbers bad team guy, I guess.
How dare you? How dare you call the 2014 Washington Commanders a bad team? I guess they weren't the Commanders back then. Hold on, I'm pulling up his playoff stats. Let's see here, Mike. In the playoffs, he has, in fact, won one game. Would you care to guess when he won that game, Mike?
I'm going to say it was with the Vikings.
Good start. What year?
And that's what year? Give me a hint. What was his last year in Washington?
His last year in Washington was oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna kill my computer. 2017 was his last year in Washington.
So I'm going to say his one playoff win was in 2018 with Minnesota.
2018 with Minnesota. And Mike, you would be correct. It was in fact in 2020.
You dick. Oh, that doesn't count. COVID year. That's cap. That's cap.
Well, that's how he got the nickname Kyrky Q. Playing through the COVID.
That's right. That's why he won that playoff game. Because he wasn't chipped by the government from the shot.
He was so full of horse dewormer. It was bursting at the seams.
Powered by ivermectin.
Dude, there was dead horseworms 2.5 miles away from the stadium. That's how much horse dewormer he had in him. That's all I got, Mike. Any last things to mention here? You want to do any plugs on the way out the door?
Yeah. You're going to hit the socials, but I'm glad to say that I checked. I went to the doctor the other day. My fingers aren't broken. So I got an article coming up soon. I got to shoot it over to Adam tomorrow. Little transfer portal recap looking at the QB carousel.
I appreciate when we do this podcast and I learned that you're going to send me something I have to edit on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nothing that's time sensitive, so you don't have to edit it like right away and get it out. So,
you will probably be hearing this podcast on Thursday, so we will be streaming later today at youtube.com/talentalonepodcast, or I guess it is youtube.com/@talentalonepodcast. We'll be playing Silent Hill F. I get that it's not sports content. You might come here for the sports content, but if you just like listening to our personalities, they're also available on the stream. So come hang out, see what that's all about. You can stay tuned to this podcast feed. If you're an audio listener, be sure that you are rating us 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 stars, whatever the most amount of stars is on your audio platform of preference. Tell a friend, you know? Because we get demonetized every episode because 60 seconds in one of us says suicide. So tell a friend about us. Help those numbers. Help those numbers surge. If you don't already follow us on whatever audio platform you use, I know Spotify sometimes will just see you listen to the podcast and keep it close. Be sure you follow us. That also helps us out. And subscribe to us on YouTube. If you don't watch the audio or the video product, it's pretty good. If I do say so myself, you can subscribe. YouTube.com/talentalonepodcast. And don't ring the bell. We're very adamant about that. No one wants push notifications. Don't ring the bell. Watch our content when you feel like it, not when YouTube tells you that you have to.
Ring the bell. Ignore him. Ring the bell.
Yeah, that guy, the guy who's telling you to ring the bell, couldn't even get Deion Burks in 5 guesses.
You couldn't get Deion Burks in 5 guesses if you.
I knew it before we even started. If you had opened my document and asked me the same questions, I would have gotten it in 1.
Yeah, that's true.
With that, Mike, would you like to give any undersized SEC wide receiver based shout-outs on the way out the door?
Shout out to the guy who should have been the answer, Zachariah Zigzag Branch.
By the way, if you want to know the theme today, because the NFL Combine is going on, it was just people that were on the freaks list, and Deion Burks was the highest ranked person we hadn't already used.
There we go.
Let's get out of here.